Okay, as far back as I can remember, I think I must have been about 3 years old in Oakland. And I just remember always having this feeling that the world wasn't right. And I mean, as a child, the feeling that the world wasn't right was so strong that I just didn't want to be here. I can remember when I used to think, that, or I used to wish that I had came from another planet. I think when I was that age, I remember my parents had bought me a kind of like a map of the solar system, and I used to always look at that map and see the planets on there, and I would think about Saturn. I used to say, "Man, Saturn is the place I must be from." And I would dream. Sometimes I would sit up and dream that I was from Saturn, or one of the moons around Saturn, and that my family would come one day in a spaceship. My real family would come one day in a spaceship and pick me up. I mean, that was a dream that I had because I just hated it here. I just knew that the world was wrong. It was messed up. Something needed to be done about it. And I always had this feeling like, in some kind of way, that maybe I would play a part in it. But it was something that I didn't want to do. Anyway, like I said, I was probably, I'm thinking I had to be about 3 because I can remember one other place that I lived before that, which was also in Oakland, and then another place after that, which was Richmond. And I was like 5 when we moved to Richmond. So I'm thinking I must have been like, uh, you know, 3 years old. Anyway, I saw a cartoon one day, and on the cartoon, the cartoon had like been mistreated at his house or whatever, gotten upset or something. But anyway, he decided to put his little things in a what do you call those things? In a handkerchief or whatever, and tie it up. And he put it on a little pole and put the pole over his back and left. As I thought to myself, I said, "Man, this is a good idea. That looks like a good idea." And remember, I'm like 3. Okay, so I remember I had this little outfit that my mom used to take me to church in. It was like a kind of like a gray plaid outfit, like a little suit with shorts. Anyway, I put that on, and I put my shoes on, and then I packed my little bag with my little stick, and I headed on out the door. Okay, and my dad, my dad was in his room sleep. Okay, because he worked at night, and he slept during the day. But anyway, he was asleep. So I walked out the door. I pushed I pushed the chair up to the door, and I unlocked the door, and I opened it, and I went out, and I closed the door behind me. And I guess the door must have been like a self-locking door. I don't know. All I know is that I had left when I went out, I left my clothes in there or whatever. And I locked myself out. So anyway, okay, my shoes needed to be tied. And I remember going over to my neighbor, Because I didn't know how to tie my shoes. I went over to my neighbor's house and I asked her if she tied my shoes. And, she was talking to me while she was tying my shoes. She's like, well, why am I tying your shoes? What's going on? Where are you going? How come your daddy don't tie your shoes? And I told her he was asleep. And I told her I was going to run away. And she was telling me that, I shouldn't run away. It wouldn't be a good idea, that my parents would miss me and everybody would be worried. And I was just telling her that I just couldn't, I just didn't like the world anymore. And I wanted to go somewhere else. Anyway, she tied my shoes. And I thought about it. I said, maybe I should go back in the house, So, I remember that I could try to get back in the house through the back door. So I went back around, and my dad had this old car in the driveway. And I hopped up on the car and tried to get over the fence so I could get in the backyard and try to see if I could get in the house from there. But the fence was just a little bit too high, even though I was jumping off the car. So I knew I was going to be forced to go back and knock on the door and wake my dad up. And I knew I was going to be in trouble, but I didn't have no other choice. So I went back over there and I knocked on the door. Boom, 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 boom. And I just kept knocking until my dad came. And my dad opened the door. He was mad. Boy, he was mad when he saw me hanging out there outside. And I just remember getting a whooping. I got a serious whooping for trying to go outside like that. But anyway, that's just the beginning. I'll tell more if anybody wants to know more in my next one. The hell with it. Whether you want to know or not, I'm going to tell it. Have you ever thought of, like, why babies cry? Okay, I was talking with Mr. Fuller one day, and he basically was saying that it's a great possibility that if the world was fine, if everything was nice in the world, that when babies were born, they wouldn't cry. Okay? So he was saying that what if babies, when they're born, the reasons why babies cry when they're born is because they know automatically that the world is so bad, they automatically know that they're coming into a world of trouble. And that's why they cry. And then you spend your time growing up trying to get used to living in a world that you know you just don't really want to live in. That is, not that you want to kill yourself, but that you want to do the things that are right to make the changes so the world isn't this way anymore. That really made me think about it. I was like, what if? Really. Logically, it could make sense. Because we all know. All of us know that something is wrong with this world. We all know it. And see, the thing is that it's time for all of us to stop trying to be comfortable and get along with the way things are. For the sake of getting along and being comfortable. Each and every one of us, every individual on this planet needs to start looking for ways to make the changes that are necessary so we can make the world right. Anyway, this is SYN-Q. Talk to you next time.